All right, welcome. YouTube, thanks for everybody coming into the live stream tonight. We have Mr. Tony Hill from North Alabama has joined us here tonight at the last minute. I appreciate you for coming in, Tony.
Oh, good evening, Scott. Good evening, everybody. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. I really wasn't going to do one, but I had such an outcry. A lot of people liked the last show with the Patrick Vaugn encounter, and I have listened to it. I don't know if anybody else has watched it more than once, but I've listened to it about 5 times now, and I can't get enough of it. And I said, why don't we just do a wine Wednesday? And I have some notes here where we are going to go through some of the highlighted parts of his interview, and then we're going to ask, of course, I'll ask you some things about it and what you think about it, and then we'll also have a chance for the subscribers to weigh in a little bit on what they think uh, about some of these incredible things that happened to Patrick out there. We're still waiting on Sci-Fi Gal. She's having some technical difficulties, but the show must go on, right? So welcome everybody in there. Let's put up a few of the subscriber comments. He's been with us since the intro, so I'm going to put up Mr. Brian McSurdy says, hello all. We got Linda Taylor. Hi, everyone from Laurel. Here's Pat Harrison. Here's someone new. Hot for 60. Killer intro. Thanks so much. Our biggest fan and contributor and master of the Bigfoot Odyssey YouTube channel. It is Kerry Arnold. And to get this format, yes. Kerry's in the process of getting this new StreamYard. In case anyone wants to know, this new format of live broadcast is brought to you by StreamYard. It is a web-based internet browser live video broadcasting tool. I know that's a mouthful, but that's what it is. You can find it more information at StreamYard.com. Let's see. We got Andy going fishing. There's one of our buddies there. The Weird Desk US. Hit that like, everyone. Thank you. There's our man, Bigfoot, Michigan, Rob. He's got his classic brew right there. Brian gets the fist bump from Bigfoot Odyssey. Looks amazing, Scott. All right. So this is how we start out Wine Wednesday. Fans, we have a new bottle of wine to showcase here on Wine Wednesday. And what we're going to do, this is a Chardonnay. I can't get it straight. Las Rocas. This is a Spanish wine. And I don't know if I'm going to be able to read it. The Grenache vines of the Catalayud, Spain, fight to survive the rocky and arid landscape of this Spanish region. These unforgiving growing conditions force these vines to plunge their roots deep into the soil, resulting in the grapes of rich, concentrated flavor, life born from the rocks, amidst a strawberry, blueberry, and oak flavors. So we are going to try the Los Rocas here tonight. I know things are different without Sci-Fi Gal. She keeps it funny. She's trying to get in here. All right, let's see. Let's see how this tastes here. Let's see. Y'all have a whiff. A bit dry. Woo. Let me tell you what, that's a bit odd.
What does it taste like, Scott?
Crap. I won't be buying the Spaniard wine again. It's kind of got that arid, rocky taste, just like they said. Oh my God. I never really drink all the bottle of wine that I get. The Wine Wednesday kind of just fell out of Bigfoot, Michigan. Rob and I were laughing about Wine Wednesday. So I just started doing it as a gag. You know, I'm not a big wine drinker, but I mean, it's fun. I have Wednesdays by myself. My kids are with their grandparents, and hey, it gives me something to do. I I go and find the cool labels and buy them. I do read the back of them. Sometimes I do some research. I've found about 2 or 3 that I really like just doing these Wine Wednesdays. Uh-oh. Here we go. I myself. Dun, dun. Kids are with their grandparents.
What's up, Tony? What's up, Scott?
Hey, it gives me something to do. Got to turn your volume down on your phone.
I did.
Oh, okay. Welcome, Sci-Fi Gal. I'm glad you made it.
I'm glad I did too. Sorry about that.
No, it's fine. No, we're just telling them it's not the same without you here when we're doing the Wine Wednesday and I'm opening the bottle and you're giggling, you know.
Yeah, tell me about it.
Yeah. So we have about 30 people in there. I've been putting up a few signs here, the comments here, just from a few folks, just to get things started. I've been waiting for you kind of to start.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that.
No,
I'm technical difficulties.
No, it's fine. That's what life is about when you're dealing with a computer world and the web. It's nobody's fault. But we got Tony Hill in here. I really thank him for stopping by.
Yeah, it's a pleasure.
Yeah. Now,
hey, glad to be here.
Bear with. Hey, tell us a little bit. You know, we had a good chat. I think it was yesterday. What's been going on up in North Alabama? You got any reports? While I get some things set up real quick.
Well, I've had some strange things happening, you know, kind of like the little stuffed animal I was telling you about, the dogs brought out of the bushes, and different sounds than what I'm used to hearing. And I actually got a picture of something, or 2 or 3 somethings. I'm not sure exactly what they all were.
Is that the one that you shared with me?
Yeah.
Do you want to show it? Or you'd rather not?
We can. Maybe somebody else has seen the same things, you know.
Let me do that. Tell them what you saw while I get this set up. And we're getting to the Patrick Vaugn highlight reel. So just hang in there. It's coming, fans.
Okay. Walking down the pasture as usual, you know, hearing some sounds, checking some things out. Was going to do a video, and walked past a certain part of bushes and trees, and I just got an odd feeling. Thought I heard a little grunt, and I turned around, and there they were, you know, standing there trying to conceal themselves somewhat, 25 feet away from me. I didn't have a weapon, didn't have anything but a phone. For what it's worth, all I could think to do was say in Jesus' name, you can't touch me. You can't harm me. And the top one gave a pretty good grimace, and that's when I snapped the photo. And as soon as I snapped it, I eased backpedaled all the way out of the pasture. And I left it with them for the rest of the day. If they wanted it, they could use it.
Now, this Now I can't really zoom in yet. I'm still learning this software. Um, but we'll put this up here a little bit. Don't know if I can actually zoom in. No, I don't think I can. But anyway, this part right down here, Tony, can you see that?
I can't see it, Scott.
No?
I can see it.
I can see the picture, but I can't see where the area you're pointing to.
I'm sure. Oh wait, how about now?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
They got
Which,
something above that too.
so this area
Yeah.
and this right here, right?
Yes.
The,
I see.
now
I
that
see fingers in that picture.
This
the
almost
top
looks like
one,
a beard, and this looks like
the
a
top
cheek.
one's the one that freaked me out the most.
So didn't you say you actually saw this move in some kind
Oh
of way?
yeah.
Explain
Oh yeah.
that.
Oh yeah. When I said what I said, the top one, you could see his facial features change. You know, just grimace, and it looked like he was trying to push the bush down a little further. But then I was concerned about the bottom one. To me, it looked like he was on all fours. So to me, I thought they were fixing to spring into action. So I went ahead and got out as quickly as I could.
Yeah, I don't blame you. This was kind of like at dusk or just during the day or
It was like an hour before dusk.
yeah. Man, that is freaky. Guys, what do y'all think of that? That's very odd. Let's go ahead and stop the screen share. Let's see. We had that way, we had this way, we had this way. So let's get started because a lot of people in here they really enjoyed Patrick Vaughn's encounter. I was blown away by it. He called me on a whim on Friday, and
I'll be back.
we ended up staying on the phone for like 4 hours or something like that. It was crazy. 3 hours, something. But what I thought we'd do is I've listened to this about 5 times, and I've gone through and made 4 different highlights within the first encounter that he had with a female that's called Sasha. And then I made 2 highlights in the second encounter, in which he believes it's a big male when he was hunting with his son. So what we'll do is I'm going to screen share this in hopes that you guys are hearing this. So if I go to play this recording, this is the pre-recording of Patrick Vaughan. Just send some thumbs up in the live chat so I know y'all hearing it. I'm gonna do the application window. I'm gonna share this. That's at 12:13. Okay. The first one you're going to hear here is what I call the female is jumping from base of tree to base of tree. So let's go ahead and start this. Remember to give me some thumbs up if you hear this recording.
I take a step, I take 2 or 3 steps and I jump. I take 2 or 3 steps and I jump. I take 2 or 3 steps and I look, trying to catch it jumping. And I couldn't. It was so fast. And so I decided, you know what? I'm going to fool this thing and I'm going to take a half a step and look. And so I took a half a step and I looked. And what I saw wasn't supposed to exist. It wasn't supposed to be there. And I saw a 2-legged, hairy being, not a big one. I always heard these things were huge. This one was my size. I'm 6'2", 250 pounds. This thing was my size, but skinnier, and was a female.
Now, when you say female,
Had breasts, mammary glands. Yes. Unbelievable.
So that's the first encounter highlight that I'd like to talk to y'all about. Tony, have you ever heard of anybody having an encounter or sighting, but then say, this thing wasn't that big? That's rare for me to hear people say that. I mean, you always think of the Sasquatch species as being the legendary giant barrel type animal, but it it did not seem to be that case with him.
I have seen smaller ones myself.
Oh
Now,
wow!
whether they were young or just malnourished, I don't know.
Yeah, sci-fi. What do you think about it being a chick Sasquatch?
I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
maybe
huh?
maybe she'll throw off the smell and smell like flowers.
Hey, I don't know. I doubt that. I bet you they don't smell too good. Oh my goodness.
Hey Tony, did you ever smell them, Tony?
Smell them?
Yeah.
At different times, yeah. I have smelled them. To me,
What?
I get the more of a skunky urine smell, or like a stale beer smell mixed with a skunky smell.
Kind of like
then
the
at other
order after Saturday night.
And at other times, I don't smell anything.
Yeah. Andy, that's
But
right. I do.
Hey,
I have also seen a female with a little one.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Now, was she what color was she?
She was grayish, dark grayish.
Yeah. And you could tell it was female because it was a child, or you saw the anatomy too?
The anatomy.
Yeah. And that's up there around your place, around the bankhead there, that north area?
Yep.
Wow.
Yep. In Sasquatch term, it's called subes.
Tubes. All right. Well, let's move forward a little bit. Has anybody else out there seen a female Sasquatch? One thing when I was talking with Patrick, one of the questions that was on his mind, of course, I don't think anyone can really answer that yet, but what he wants to know is what determines the color phase. Why is it just an issue like we have our hair, like humans have blonde hair? Is it the genetics of the parents? Is it something that they eat? Is it the geographic location, the weather, the climate? Great question he had, but that was one of the things that he really wanted to know. Let's see. Andy going female, going fishing says that female was really interested in Patrick's hand. But yes, I totally agree. And we're going to listen to is Tony Hill's channel Crow Creek Cryptid? Is that you?
Yes, with an S on the end.
With an S on the end. Hot Ford 60. He said that's it, but it's got an S on the end. So that's Tony Hill's channel. Yeah, Andy, your question is as good as ours. That's what we're asking too. Do the females tend to have a lighter color hair, whether it's some off shade of black, some type of gray, or even a white or a blonde? It seems like from a lot of people who have seen these females, seems some of them have this reddish, orangish type tinge. So let's get to the next highlight, and this was the one that I really liked. This is at timestamp 2022. I call it the fake out and the foot scuff. So this is where Patrick has seen this thing. He's gotten out of his stand, and he is literally trying to run uphill while he's noticing her jumping from base of tree to base of tree. So give me just a minute. Let me put it on that timestamp. And I said it was 2022, right? Let's see. Got to get it just right, or kind of close anyway. Oh, okay, there it is. So let's go ahead and share this and let it fire.
And so I'm gonna pay attention to her gait, and she's gonna have to pause to confirm which way I'm going. And when she does, bam, I'm gonna take off. And so, you know, I crashed the top of this hill, and I got 40 more yards to go, and she's still in the brush, and she's keeping her pace, and I'm keeping mine. I'm still jogging, and I get 10 yards from that road. I get 5 yards from that road, and she paused. And I left out into the middle of that road, and I looked like an Olympic runner. I left dust. And she actually stepped out to the road, to the edge of the road, because I looked back at about 15 yards. You know, when I'm running, I looked back, and she actually stepped out to the edge of the road and looked at me and scuffed her feet.
Scuffed her feet?
Yeah, you know.
So that's what I call the fake out and the foot scuff. And what he was telling me on that phone, and I know y'all heard that, but if some of y'all have not heard it yet, but he was literally doing this deal where he's seen the creature, he's running to get back up to the trail. He starts to leave. He was in a 1 mile hike back in. Naturally, you yourself make a pause and look to see if this thing's following you as you're starting to panic, as your testosterone struck. I mean, all that stuff's going nuts at once. So every time he would stop and look, she wasn't there. But he would just get a glimpse of her jumping from tree to tree, anywhere from a 10 to 15 foot leap from tree base to tree base. And this was in an old growth forest where he said some of the bases of the pine trees were 36 inches in diameter. That's big pine. So he had the right mind to be scared, right? To be scared, but he's saying to himself, every few steps I take and stop and look, I don't see her. I just see a glimpse of her hiding as she jumps real fast. He had the sense enough to say, I'm going to take a half step. And when I take that half step, I'm just going to look. And he faked her out. And that's when he looked and he could really see it. That right there is something to be that's very studious. How do you, in your right mind, be frightened to hell and then think about doing that in order to gain some kind of bearing or idea of what you're dealing with? I don't know if I'd have had that in me, but I damn well know I wouldn't have been able to run a mile like he did. So I don't know what happened to me if I'd have been in that situation. The other thing is he faked it out enough to where he ran, and as he was running, he looked back and he saw this female, this brown female, step into the trail, looking at him, and then it scuffed its feet like to throw the dirt with its foot up. Like, I am pissed that you did that. Or what do you think that was? Is that exactly what we're thinking it is? What do you think it might have been, Tony?
You know, really, it's hard to say.
Yeah.
That may have been some type of warning.
Yeah.
You know, or just curiosity. You know, from what I know, they get pretty wound up, curious. Maybe, it's really hard to say. But as far as they're jumping from tree to tree, I think that's why a lot of people that know they have them in their area, they don't find a lot of prints, because they'll do anything to keep those prints. I think they walk logs, they'll hit the rocks, they'll jump from base of tree to base of tree, or even in the trees.
But that is amazing though, because I hadn't heard that though before. Jumping from the base of tree to base of tree, usually, I mean, of course, if it's a pine tree, the needles have piled up. If it's an oak tree, there's roots right there. It's a perfect vantage to both hide from and then land. Yeah, land without any footprints, just like you're saying.
Yeah, you might hear the noise. You might hear a thud behind you. But when you turn around, they're behind the tree. You don't see them.
You remember we heard that crack at the thing?
And guess what? I just got an email from somebody who listened to the Capitol Scout Mission too.
Mm-hmm.
He says you can hear a faint second knock after that first one. I'll have to go into my email. He says, I was checking out your audio, blah, blah, blah. If you will listen closely, there is a higher pitched knock right before the loud knock, the main knock in the video. We have tons of these types of knocks. The sound you will be listening for is a hollow pong sound at the 46-second mark. So we need to go back to the video and, really that audio file, and try to find this second knocking sound. And her note,
the first knock or the second knock?
It sounds like he's saying the first knock. So like the big loud one by the X.
The one when you touch the stuff and I told you not to.
Yeah, that one.
I told him, I said, Tony, don't touch that stuff. Oh, well, you see, bam.
Hey, and in case y'all don't know, the Weird Desk US, Kerry just informed me that this is Granny's greenhouse, Great Granny's greenhouse. Yeah.
Why is everybody changing their names?
I don't know. Everybody is changing their names. Like, I didn't know who
Gordon was.
Gordon changed his name. Boots on the Ground with Barb changed her name. Great Granny's greenhouse has changed. It's like the minute you start to kind of know folks, who's this new? Oh well, it's just.
Well, you can change yours to Scott O.
Huh?
You can change yours to Scott O.
Well, occasionally I will go into a live stream with my main account, which is
but they know who you are.
Yeah, but a lot of people don't know who SJ is because it doesn't take time. It says SJ. Anyway,
well, you could call yourself Tony Over the Hill.
There you go. I feel like it sometimes.
How old are you?
Huh?
How old are you?
I'm old enough to eat cornbread, but I still get choked.
Oh my God, Cage and Jules, no doubt, Joe. I would have spelled worse than that. GGG is who now? Hey, Bigfoot Michigan Rod. GGG is now this person right here, the Weird Desk of US. GGG, could you possibly tell us where you've grabbed this name from? I'm telling you, it's a stunner.
And you see Rob's in the room.
Yep, Rob is in the room. Of course, O'Brien's cracking up.
Yep.
Wait, Joe, I have a buddy from high school that calls me that. Scotty Too Hottie. I have a buddy that calls me that. That's funny that you say that. Andy Gone Fishing says, given the muscular size, of course, of this Bigfoot or any, they must have developed shock padding. Hey, that would be something else to be able to one day look at the bottom of their feet. That would be incredible. Anyway, for me, when he told me that, when we just listened to that, as he finally got away from that initial encounter and he's running and looks over his back shoulder and sees this Sasha, female Sasquatch, looking at him in the middle of the trail, scuffing the dirt. I have like an image of that in my mind. Of course, I have no idea if that's what he saw, but
Gordon! Look what Gordon said about you.
where? Oh, after the wine, it's Scotty the Potty, and guess what? I had a filet steak, and when I have really rich food and steak like that, that combined with the wine, it's going to be potty time.
Hey, Scott. Scott.
Yes.
TMI.
Who?
TMI.
TMI. What's that?
Too much information.
Oh yeah. Well, hey, Gordo brought it up. So here is what GGG says about finding his new The Weird Desk United States name. I was doing Sasquatch shout-outs from the Weird Desk US. It was the talk show that I had Bigfoot shouting out channels. Okay. Well, that makes sense now. We have some context why GGG has changed the name to the Weird Desk. It was a talk show. Thanks for that clarification. I'll sleep better tonight, GGG. Let's see.
That's Gordon for me.
All right, let's move on to the Patrick Vaugn. I have another highlight spot, and this is the part where he had been running down that trail, and for a moment there's a face-to-face encounter that really kind of stayed with me, and there's one big point that I want to ask y'all once we get to that. So let's go to the screen share.
Barbie.
Hi, Barb.
Boots on the ground with Barbie.
Let's go to, it's at, if anyone's interested, the face-to-face part that we're going to be listening to next happens at timestamp 26:52 in the original YouTube video. Let's see, 26:52. Again, this is when he's been running down the trail for a while. The female Sasquatch was paralleling him in the woods, running along a hedgerow. And this is what we get to. It's so hard to get that exact spot. So let's go ahead and go.
On the roadway, because if you slow down, you're not gonna make it. So I'm running, and I'm when I hit this brush line, I look to my left and I see her, and she's got 10 yards. She's 10 yards from me. Oh my God! And when I clear that brush, which is maybe 3 or 4 feet, worth of brush, I clear through there.
You can see her through the brush at like that 10 yards.
Yeah, I can see her. She was right there. I could have spit on her. She was trying to beat me there, and she was very fast. She almost did it. But I caught another deer. I had somehow I got even faster, and I guess I threw her timing off. But I passed 10 yards in front of her when I cleared that through that little.
So, that is the first part of this segment. Then I'm going to jump to the 29-28 timestamp real quick that goes with this, and put those two together. Come on.
Now, at that site where you twisted your ankle, you're in the bar ditch. She's standing still, looking through. Were you able to see like her face, facial features?
I saw just dark skin and bright eyes. Very wide face. Very wide face. You know, just.
What strikes me about that, guys, is I have never heard anybody say that they were bright eyes. Have you? Everybody that I've heard either says they're dark black eyes, or of course, if it's at night, they're shining. No, it's a reddish or it's a yellow. I've never really heard anybody, and this was during the day. Now, this was dusk, mind you, but the sun had just kind of peeked down, and you still had good light at this time. So he described those eyes as being bright. Now, when I talked to him again, I want to have him elaborate on that a little bit, if he will. But has anybody heard people say that they've seen Sasquatch eyes being bright?
Did he say what color they were?
No.
No.
I didn't want to prod him. I just wanted him to tell his story at first, because eventually what we're going to do is once we have all of these, this might be 3 or 4 parts. He's right now brainstorming all of the encounters, which are 8 to 9 of them, so that he can get them in order. And when we do the show, when he calls in to do another interview, we can kind of keep things in order, and then eventually, I'm hoping that he will come on here live. We won't show his face, but he'll come on, and it'll kind of look like this. So you're hearing me, but you won't see him. So
you're a magician, Scott.
Yeah, but I'm hoping that he does that. That would be outstanding, because I'd like for him to address the subscribers when they ask stuff. What better person to do that than the man himself? So we'll see. It all takes honesty. It takes trusting someone, feeling comfortable with someone, and I just don't want to. I know I got some slack from people who said, "Oh, you keep interrupting him, you keep interrogating him." Well, I told him that if we did this, it would be a phone call like 2 friends telling each other about what happened. So that's how I wanted it to be. I didn't want him to feel as if he's just waiting for me to drill him with questions. So I made it that way, and I think it came out well. I think he was reliving that, which he told me off air, off recording, that before we hung up, he said something along the lines to, "Man, it's I'm reliving this again. It's flashing back up, saying all this again." So, but anyway, did anybody?
It can get to you.
Oh yeah. Let's see what Brian says. Might be a new thing. It's awesome. Wi-Fi, speaker blasting, and enjoying the sky. Hey, could the eyes be bright, as in shiny from tearing up? Maybe. It could have been, that type of like when that sun goes down, there's a certain amount of light diffusion that kind of lights up the woods before it gets dark. GGG says only at night.
Like in that photo, you had of mine earlier.
Yeah.
The one on the top, you can tell its eyes were almost an orange. The bottom one that's peeking through, you can see white in its eyes.
Yeah, it's definitely that left one that I can see, that left eye.
But
like
I have seen
the left eye and the left cheek is what I can see in that top one too.
I have seen solid black eyes that were just real glassy, real. I don't know if that would might be what he was talking about, shiny.
Yeah.
Real glassy looking.
I think so.
Have you ever seen them at night, Tony, with their eyes?
Hold on 1 minute, guy. Hello?
What up? Well, there we go. Okay, Christy, you can host now.
Okay,
people. What was your question?
I said my question was, did you ever seen the eyes at night when you like doing a flashlight or something? Like their eyes.
Whenever I take the flashlight out, every now and then I might catch a little eye shine.
Mm-hmm.
But most of the time, they're going to hide their face. If that light comes on, they're hiding. But now I have seen eye glow. I know a lot of people are on the fence about that. And of course I was too. I didn't believe in freaking eye glow, until I seen it. But can I explain it? Nope.
What color was the eyes? Like an amber color?
Like a deep amber.
Like a fire color.
Yeah, the old lanterns back in the 50s or something, the deep amber looking, like that.
Okay.
That color.
That's cool. Did it scare you?
Yeah. Just because he was coming towards me, that's what scared me.
Well, I
went toward him and he backed away, so.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
Have you seen any other eye color besides the amber?
No. Just a yellow.
That is weird that you said that, because our friend Patrick just called.
Oh, really?
He said, I want to clarify something. I could paint a picture of what that looked like. And what he says is the pupil, he could see the pupil was dark, but around the pupil was a golden hue.
A golden what?
Hue, kind of like a shiny golden look.
Well, most of them.
I totally believe him, but it's crazy to shut my eyes and think of that. And how much of that is just what we talked about, the diffused lighting. He described that the sun was going down in the west, so maybe the shining of the sun had something to do with it, as she was looking towards the west. I don't know, man. It's odd. It's incredible though to hear it.
Yeah, but you know what? They say a lot of the different Sasquatch eyes come out in different colors. Between amber, there's white ones, there's red ones.
That's exactly what I hear too.
They even said they had one with blue eyes.
It's possible. I think it all has to do. I mean, look at people who have hazel eyes. My eyes are hazel. It depends on what I wear. It depends on the lighting outside. There are times when I can wear like a light aqua blue, and then my eyes are so dark green that it's unbelievable. I have no idea why. Is it because we had an overcast day? The light was nice and diffused at noon. I'm wearing a certain color. It's very possible that that's some of the same things that are happening with Squatch. Yeah, let me read this. Cajun Jewel says, are we gonna get to hear more of Patrick's encounters? Yes. Cajun Jules, we are gonna hear more of these encounters. I don't want to rush all this stuff with him. I want it to be casual. I want him to get his ducks in a row. We were gonna do it this Friday for a Saturday up upload in video, but I'm going out of town. But we're gonna do. He will be calling in Sunday evening, so I will have the Patrick Vaugn Sasquatch Encounters Part 2 interview, either up Sunday night or sometime Monday. So they're coming, and the good thing is he's getting them all. He's getting everything in order to make it even better. Brian McSurdy says, Patrick, I can't wait to hear more. Learning a lot from you. Thank you so much for sharing. That's exactly one of the main points of why he decided to do this, is to share with people and get the truth out. Let's see. You go on to something. Andy, let's see. Gordo says some young animals and birds have lighter colored eyes when young that they grow out of as they get older. That makes sense. You know, according to Patrick, this female was about 6 foot tall, about his height. She was not muscular. She was slinky. He describes her being lean, not skinny and emaciated, but somewhat lean and skinny, but that she moved with a lightning type speed that was unbelievable, jumping from base to tree to base to tree. Let's see. We have Blue Eyes came from Fox on the Carter Farm. I have no idea what that means. Thank you. Andy gone fishing. Look at owl's eyes in the light. That's true. Big time. They glow. Almost like putting a flashlight behind a crystal marble almost. Of course, Cajun Jules is elated. Wow, she can't wait. Thank you so much, Cajun. Let's see. Anything else before we move forward to the second encounter?
My eyes are glowing. Look, they're glowing. Can you see them?
Yes, they are glowing.
I see you.
Hey, if Sasquatch would allow you to get that close, who knows what they would look like?
I wouldn't be scared.
Cajun Jules, regardless of if you believe in the woo factor, it does exist. There's too much evidence to prove it. Yep.
Woo!
There's too many good, honest folks, one of which we have on here right now in Tony Hill, but there's too many good, just honest Americans, people that I know that would give their shirt off their back. I don't know how all those people are just making something up. I have not had an encounter myself, but again, I'll say it all the time. I take stock in good folks because they're hard to find. Good people are hard to find.
A dime a dozen, right?
Yeah. So when you come across one and they're sitting there spilling their guts, telling you, yeah, I might think about it. I might be, But let's say I do just a little research and this guy is just everything he says is golden. How in the hell can somebody like that be wrong? How can all of those people be wrong? All those good people, honest people. They've just made up the best stories in the whole world, right? Just made them up. And they stand by them and they say them all the time. I don't think so. Let's move on. We are now going to go to, we're rounding up. What time is it? It's 9:24, 8:30. Well, it'll be done soon. We are moving to Patrick's second encounter. This was a part of the second encounter. If y'all can remember, the second encounter was about his younger son wanting to go hunting. The boy had been sick, but said, "Dad, I really want to go. I really want to go." So he brought him out there. Along the way, the boy had bad stomach issues, and they had to stop along the way, multiple 2, 3, 4 stops where the boy had to get out and do a number 2 in the woods. His stomach, I mean, he was feeling bad. They get to a spot. He puts his son in a place. It's complete darkness. Patrick then goes for a good 300 to 400 yard walk to go to his stand, and this is what happens. This, of course, there's so many. I could just replay this whole thing and we can talk about it, but these are the bullet points that I picked out. For his second encounter, it's the male Sasquatch bumps his head on the tree. That is at timestamp 44:48 if anybody is interested later. 44:48, let's get to that. 44:44 is good. Alrighty.
Crunch, crunch. This is happening. So I shine a light. I can't catch it. You know, it's not moving. So I start walking, and I'm gonna get smart this time. I'm gonna shine higher.
It's back to playing those games like you did in Encounter 1, where you did the half step.
Yeah, and it doesn't want to get caught.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm walking, and so I get smart this time. You know what? I'm gonna shine up higher. You know, because this thing is heavy, it's large. I can hear it. You could hear it in the ground. It wasn't like the first one, the light little tap. This thing had weight. And so I shine up high real quick. You know, I was walking. I didn't stop and turn. I just turned and then stopped. And I shined high, and I shined its eyes. And it stumbled. It stepped on a stick, stumbled, and hit its head on a limb. And the limb had come out into the right of way, and the rain that had misted on it shook off into right there by me, into the right of way.
What?
So this is what I wanted to say about that. Most people that are making something up, if you ask me, they have no idea of the detail of something else that's going on, but what the subject is on. This guy has painted a picture and remembered something out of this whole second encounter. This is probably the one thing that I would remember, and that would be in the light of your flashlight. So you have a circumference of that light, right? In that, a Sasquatch, he's pointing and hearing something, but not seeing anything. So he does this. He aims up higher, and then there's the face. How do you not lose it then? But he doesn't. As he shines it, this thing kind of steps on a stick, falls forward, hits a big limb. That limb, and this shows you just how close and just how accurate what Patrick is saying. He's telling you it's 5 foot in the wood. It's 5 to 10 foot in the wood line from where he's walking in the opening. So if it hits that big limb, he's saying that limb sways out into the open where he was. It had been misting. It was wet. It was raining. And all those leaves just kind of just knock off all that rain. What a detail to really sear into your brain. The falling water off the leaves as a Sasquatch trips and nails that limb. That's what really moved me about it. Scott, if you need any more wrenches, I'm available. Donald Fuller, I may take you up on that. I'm not sure how many wrenches I even have. Matt Niven said, interesting observation. Yes, with an eye like that, I know you know. Were there with him to me? We're there with him. I'm not quite sure, Joe. I may have read that wrong. Sorry, buddy. He was so close, and it engraved in his brain. Exactly, Brian. So we are going to get to this next part. This is the part where, okay, the creature had bumped its head. Patrick says, "Man, I just want to make it to my stand." So he's walking down the trail or the opening or the right of way that he's on. This creature is inside the wood line and is making this scurrying sound. He comes up to a spot where it must make a T. It's open. And the creature runs down and somewhat runs away. He gets to his stand. He gets in the stand. Awesome observations from him once again. Deer hunters will do the craziest things to either hide their scent or disguise their sound and the audio that's going on around them, right? They want to be quiet. Well, just so happens on this ground box stand, they used leather shoe soles to nail the doors on so that when you open that door, that leather does not squeak. There is no hinge squeak. There is no rusting. It's just a piece of leather that opens and closes. Great idea. The fact that that's something that's still going on is really cool. But this leather attached door has rotted, and it's literally just kind of sitting up onto the box stand. So I mean, it's completely off, but he just sets it up against the hole to close it right there behind him. So there's no lock. The door's not attached to the damn stand. This is what happens next. I call it Bigfoot smells the door at 5639. Let's go to that, and then we'll wrap this up. 56. We'll start it right there.
Or two to do whatever they want to you before they're dead too. And I do not want this thing to have any time with me in any kind of distress to do what it wants to do, because my son is out there. He's 12 years old. And I keep thinking of him. If anything happens to me, he's in trouble. And we're 3 miles from the nearest burning light. We're back here.
That's rough.
And so don't pull the trigger. I decided I will not pull the trigger unless he touches that door. If he touches the door or reaches in after me, I'm going to have to pull the trigger. But as long as that door stays where it is, I'm holding my fire. My safety is off. I'm pointing to the door. I'm sitting in the stand, in my chair, in my stand, and I hear this thing go. He sniffs the bottom of my door at the crack.
Unbelievable.
Okay, I got the door leaned up. It's off its hinges, so it just leans up. And he's at the crack of my door sniffing. He does it twice. And then I realized what he wanted. As a common practice, I scent kill everything on me. I am a black hole in the woods when it comes to scent. And he doesn't, even though he saw me, and this is an observation of mine, even though he saw me with the flashlight, saw me get out of the truck, saw me with a gun, seeing wasn't believing, smelling was. And he had to smell me to identify me. And he couldn't smell me. So I'm thinking, well, what can I do to make you smell? I got some chewing tobacco in my mouth, so I spit at the door. I spit and I hit the door, and it runs down the door, and he kind of, and he reverses his track back, and the brush comes back up a little bit, disheveled, but still he's backing up. He's getting away from my stand, and he leaves out.
Unbelievable, right? It just drives me crazy. What would you have done, Tony, if this it's completely pitch black, you got no moon, you're in a box deer stand that's on the ground, the door is just laying over the hole, and this thing's smelling your door, and it's right there, and it's smelling the door?
Well, being a hunter most of my life, I would have probably done the exact same thing. I wouldn't have fired until I had to.
Yeah.
And most animals, when they're after your scent, Either they're after you to eat you, or they're after you because they're curious.
Yeah.
You
I
know,
love the fact that he spit the tobacco juice was enough to just, hey, that's not human. That's foreign, but I don't like that. Maybe it was just enough to uh, uh, confuse it enough to want to leave. I don't know.
Yep. Or he caught the scent of his saliva as being human. I'm sure they've smelt it before.
Brian said, amazing. I would have pooped myself, nerves of steel. I totally agree with you, Brian. I would have done the same.
Bring a Depends witch out in the woods.
Yeah, hey, that's what we need to market. We can market the new human Sasquatch diaper for people who, when they have their we need people to do the commercial for. I'm going to shoot the commercial. Do we have any speakers?
Christy could do the commercial.
Yeah.
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll get you to model the diaper and stuff. And then you just we'll use some barbecue sauce on the back to emulate when the sighting happens. Oh my God, you're crazy. Look, guys, it is 9:30, 9:36. It has been 1 hour. I want to thank Tony Hill for coming in. You're more than welcome to drop off whenever you want, buddy. Thank you for coming. I really do appreciate it. I like having somebody who's got a little bit more knowledge than me. I know your palate creature is disturbing enough, so I know you have some pretty good insight and you're serious about this. So it's always good to have someone on to give a little bit of their 2 cents, especially when what would be great. I always think in my head is what would be awesome if you could get a real live roundtable of people like you, Kerry Arnold, Mike Woolley. Of course, he's passed away, but you get these people, Lady in the Woods, Gordon, Patrick, Matt, and really just get them someplace and do a video and just have them all just break out with ideas, creativity. What did you see? Of course, we do it here on YouTube and stuff, but there's so much that gets lost in just the translation of whether it be, trying to keep the show going, trying to keep questions to a minimum. You've got so many people in there that you're trying to get to. Hopefully one day we'll be able to do that.
And that's all I have is my 2 cents, because the more I think I learn, the more questions there are.
But that's fine though. You just keep logging that in. You just keep logging that in and don't stop. Because if I had a place like yours, I'd probably be squirrely just like you, but I wouldn't stop either.
It don't stop me, but that last photo, I've let them have it for a few days.
I don't blame you. Just let it go for a while.
That was kind of an ambush scenario, and
right.
Maybe I'm stepping on their toes a little much.
Yeah. Well, Bigfoot Michigan Rob says, good show, guys. Later. Let's see. We're going to be rounding this out.
Rob said he's in. Come on, Rob. Let's go.
Yeah. Rob, I can't remember everybody. Don't get mad if I didn't say your name, please.
Matt, you're a nut.
You're on to something, Scott. Thanks, Brian. Matt Niven, you won't understand me. Yes, we will. We're sick, just like you. We'll understand just fine, brother. Andy gone fishing, 2 cents. I like it. All right, guys. For Tony Hill, Christy Sci-Fi. Christy, you got anything else to say before we hang up the live stream, or are you good?
Thanking everybody for coming and hanging out with us.
Yes.
Sorry,
Thank-
it's not the normal circumstances, you know.
Yeah, it's 9:30 on a Wednesday. We appreciate y'all taking the time out. You can now be redirected to your previous life. Thank you so much. Take care, guys, and we'll see you on the next one. Either Sunday night or Monday will be the next Patrick Vaugn Bigfoot Encounters Part 2. Thank y'all, and y'all take care. Good night.
Thanks for having me. Bye, Christy. Bye, Scott.
All right,
Bye-bye.
Tony, I'm staying on.
Bye, chat.